Welcome to the Daily Dose of Dairy Live. This presentation was first made at the April 4, 2017 ProFood Tech in Chicago. This installation of the Daily Dose of Dairy Live is on trends in fluid milk and dairy-based beverages. It's being sponsored by Klockner Pentaplast. Thank you very much, Klockner Pentaplast, for your support. I'm Donna Berry. I'm a food scientist, editor, and consultant. I write the daily newsletter called Daily Dose of Dairy, and it's brought to you by my website, berryondairy.com. As I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about trends in the category of fluid milk and dairy-based beverages. Trends is rather a loose term, and I'd like to define it a little bit more to say, basically, it's stuff going on that's influencing innovation. What could that stuff be? Well, that stuff could be consumer behaviors, flavor trends, changing menus, you name it, stuff that's influencing innovation. First, though, I'd like to make a disclaimer before we get into the trends. I want you to know that I am not endorsing any of the products or practices showcased in this presentation. Some of the label claims and product positionings may not be regulatory compliant. I am strictly reporting activity in the marketplace. And then with that said, I'd like to actually provide you with my qualifications to even address this topic. I do believe in this day and age it is important to let your audience know that you are qualified to speak on a topic. So bear with me just a few minutes for me to give you a little background. I was born almost 50 years ago to 42-year-old Francis and 45-year-old Michael, second-generation Poles who grew up in the Great Depression. I came home from the hospital to an 18-year-old brother, 17-year-old sister, and 12-year-old sister. I'm what is known as the Catholic oops at the time. Now, though I had older siblings, I was pretty much raised like an only child by a blue-collar factory worker father and a mother who never graduated high school. We had a very urban life in a Chicago bungalow on the north side. But we did have relatives in nearby rural Wisconsin and frequently had, I got a taste of farm life. Now, jump ahead 5 years. Jump ahead 5 years from my birth, and those older siblings fit every stereotype of a 1970s hippie, all the way down to the van with fur on the walls and hanging bead curtains. Now, those hippie siblings did eventually get educated. They grew up, settled down, and bred what we know today to be millennials. They went from hippie to being called a baby boomer and continued, though, to disrupt the world as we know it. They also raised kids to be quite similar, those disruptors known as millennials, and that's where we are today. Now, for as much as I do talk, I have been observing behavior for as long as I can remember. And let me tell you, with Great Depression raised parents, hippie siblings, and millennial nieces and nephews, I've observed a heck of a lot, and I continue to do so. I continue to observe the many dynamics of my family, as well as shoppers. I've been known to be asked to leave grocery stores because I sometimes just sit there in the dairy aisle and observe who is buying what and what makes it into the cart and what goes back on the shelf. Now, these observations all get combined with my personal worldly experiences to make my trends and industry forecast reporting possible. After graduating in food science from the University of Illinois, I worked at Kraft in the early 90s. My assignment was create fat-free cheese. Now, as you know, the words fat-free and cheese do not belong together. As you can imagine, this assignment was very unsatisfying, and I left to write for the food trade in 1993. And I've been doing so ever since. I cover all areas of food, however, dairy is my focus and my passion. Now, in this 25 plus years that I've been writing for the dairy industry, let's just talk about everything that I've experienced. And again, in order to bring this knowledge back to trends and forecasting. First of all, when I started, there was no formal nutrition label. The nutrition facts label was just rolling out in 1993. Dean Foods, the milk chug, was making its debut. Up until then, the big talk of the town was, How do you expect people to drink milk on the go when a square carton does not fit in a round cup holder? We've changed that. Ice milk was actually still a standard of identity product. Ben & Jerry's was owned by Ben & Jerry. Frozen ice cream novelties were fun. I mean, you got these multicolored push-ups with colors that dyed your mouth for days at end. You know, Wells Enterprises, ice cream manufacturers, they were actually Wells Dairy. They made yogurt, they made milk, they made other dairy products. Kraft was in the yogurt business. They had the Breyers brand, the Light and Lively brand. But my all-time favorite is Greek yogurt. Back in 1993, when I started writing for the food trade, Greek yogurt was not a term, and it was actually an ingredient that the food companies, or I should say the restaurants, used to make cucumber sauce for gyros. And it wasn't even referred to as tzatziki back then. It was literally cucumber sauce for gyros. That's how far Greek yogurt goes back. I was there when Milk Mustache and Got Milk debuted, and then when it ended 20 years later. I was there for the food pyramid before the plate came on. I was there and experienced and reported on when there was still funding for programs like 3 a Day to promote milk, cheese, and yogurt, as well as the Power of Cheese campaign. I was there, and this is a big one, especially for this category. I was there when soy was the only competitor, or I should say the only plant protein competitor to fluid milk. Now you've got coconut, cashews, almonds, hazelnuts, hemp, pea protein. It's become a really crazy competitive category. Indeed. So, there are just simply too many beverage options out there, and all beverage categories are competitive. So in order to succeed, you must differentiate. And I throw this beer picture up here because I want you to think about this mindset when you think about fluid milk. Again, this is just a generalization, but I'll take me. I'm a Miller girl kind of, Miller Lite kind of girl, okay? If I want a beer, Miller Lite is my go-to, right? There's usually always some in our fridge. It's always there. However, my goodness, that craft beer case where I can mix and match a 6-pack and try new things certainly is very enticing. And I do it often. I'm actually not a big beer drinker, but I'm speaking for my husband. And, we try new things, or he tries new things, and sometimes there's one that's really good. And we continue to buy it then. Now, Miller Lite is still the go-to. It's always there, but you're trying out new beverages. Well, the same thing is true for fluid milk. You're always, I shouldn't say everyone has a gallon of fluid milk in their fridge, but most people do. But you're willing to try other beverages because they're out there. There's just so many options. So again, to emphasize the fact, to succeed, you must differentiate. So let's jump ahead to trend number 1, and this is going to be from Mother Nature. So, marketers, when you're coming up with new innovations, you need to talk about the cows, talk about the farms and the farmers. The last time I, looked at this, it was pretty easy to milk a cow to get some milk. I'm still trying to figure out how you milk a cashew or an almond or a hazelnut or a pea, for goodness sakes. How do you do that? There's nothing more natural than getting milk from a cow. Talk about. So here are some folks who are doing just that, maybe taking it to another level or so. But grass-fed is becoming extremely trending in the milk category. Sometimes organic, sometimes not. Sometimes here we have non-homogenized. Atlanta Fresh has cream on top grass-fed milk that's never homogenized. The Maple Hill product, traditionally a yogurt company, has just recently rolled into the milk category with the grass-fed. Organic is big. In fact, dairy is the number 2 organic foods category. In 2016, or actually 2015, it posted $6 billion in sales, which was up 10%. Organic is so big in fluid dairy specifically that local and regional brands are getting involved. Here we see actually Highland, who recently rolled out a line of organic in gallon sizes. And then Kelowna actually has organic creamers, and Horizon has their shelf-stable product. This is an interesting item, Enjoy Milk. It's a little different positioning. It's a product in the UK and represents 700 plus dairy farmers who are promoting free range cow's milk. The milk is 100% from British farms, and the idea behind it is that these free range cow farmers are paid a fair price for their milk. It's better for everyone, as the labels say. Interesting over here, this cold pressed raw product is in Australia and it's being promoted as the world's first safe to drink raw milk. So instead of using heat pasteurization to destroy pathogens, it undergoes intense isotactic cold water pressure, and that eliminates the pathogens and makes it a safe product. This low and slow is milk that's pasteurized slowly at low temperatures to better preserve the flavor and nutrients. Okay, trend number 2, focus on the ingredients, including their flavor and their processing. So when you talk about flavors and processing, nothing jumps out at you more than this cold brew phenomena that is really taking over the coffee industry at the coffee shop level, but really at the retail grab and go level. So we're seeing a lot of this cold brew, and the idea behind cold brew is that the coffee beans, instead of being, processed under heat quickly, they are soaked in cold water, sometimes for 12 to 24 hours, to extract all of the flavor and the caffeine without a lot of the off flavors that tend to be sometimes bitter or acidic. Lattes are being made with them, packaged. You see an array of products here, single serves and bottles and cartons, as well as multi-serve products. Here's another emphasis on ingredients. This is butter coffee. This is actually, again, I believe it is a cold brew coffee product that is, instead of having cream in it or milk in it, it's made with grass-fed butter. The emphasis on the ingredients here, as well as the protein. They're talking about the protein content, making it a little bit more of a nutritious beverage as well. Comes in flavors like mocha latte, cappuccino, and dirty chai. And then there's tea lattes. This is actually a category. There was a lot of activity in a couple years ago. Seems like it's slowed down, and anticipation that it's going to happen again. But again, mixing tea with milk into ready-to-drink beverages. Tea can also be cold brew processed as well. I'm guessing that is just around the corner, and I expect to see some activity this season, this summer season, in that area. So focusing on ingredients, dessert flavors, big thing here as well as abroad. You see a chocolate fudge cake milk. Promised Land Dairy over in Texas, they talk about the fact that their milk is only from Jersey cows. And it has distinct flavor and richness that you just don't get anywhere else. And as well as, look at this beautiful package that they're putting it in, these quart bottles. And talking about the cows and the flavors and the ingredients, natural milk, promoting that. Okay, so Mueller over in Germany, I'm going to have actually quite a few examples of them in this presentation because they really prioritize their innovation in milk. This is their Select line, which is a dessert-inspired flavored milk line. We have pistachio hazelnut, we have raspberry cream, basically a Bananas Foster product. Here are some other items. Goo is actually a cup dessert concept, kind of like a pudding in the UK, and now it's available in a flavored milk line, salted caramel, hot chocolate, mocha. But over here, Prairie Farms, right in the Midwest, not far downstate Illinois, they have their chef-inspired flavored milk lines under the Chef's Splendor brand. And again, something as good, delicious as honey cookie and dark chocolate truffle, sea salt caramel. Reducing sugar is also a big thing when it comes to emphasizing ingredients, and there have been another number of no added sugar beverages or no added sugar milk products, mainly in Europe. I'm assuming that we're going to start seeing more activity here in the US on no sugar added flavored milks. Some of the technology here is going to be using high intensity sweeteners that are natural, however, like stevia and monk fruit extract, as well as involving lactose, or I should say lactase, to break down lactose to get some of the inherent sugars in the milk working for you. Oh, this product is truly one of my favorites as a recent innovation. Just made its debut a couple weeks ago at Expo West in Anaheim. This is from Dreaming Cow, which does make grass-fed yogurts, cup yogurts. Now they're entering the drinkable yogurt category. But what's absolutely amazing about this product is the beverage in itself is impressive, and the formulation, but the package was specifically chosen so that it could fit into a couple different places in the supermarket, namely in the produce area, where you'll find a lot of cold pressed juices, products from like Bolthouse, and fanciful, more expensive premium juice beverages, as well as in the yogurt category, or the yogurt case or the dairy case. So the package, again, to try to blend into both sectors of the supermarket. Now, one 12-ounce bottle contains 20 billion probiotics, as well as about 11 to 13 grams of protein, depending upon variety, but as well as one full serving of vegetables. The emphasis here is they're really talking up the ingredients, letting you know what's in there. Okay, moving on to trend number 3, limited edition and seasonal. Create an urgency to purchase the product. This is something that you see in from a number of brands. It's not as common in fluid milk as it should be. We're dealing with a perishable product here, which really lends itself quite well to being a seasonal or limited edition product. Prairie Farms is doing a great job. This is what they've had this Peeps line out. I think this is their third spring Easter season where they're offering it. Again, limited amount produced. Once it's all sold out, it's gone. But I really love this Farmer's Cow product, this maple milk. Again, limited edition. It's coming out, or came out, I should say now, during maple syrup harvesting season. What's really cool about it is, and again, talking about the ingredients, is that the product is not sweetened with or flavored, not sweetened or flavored with anything else but pure maple syrup. What a beautiful story, maple milk. Oh, these guys here, they're in Arizona, and they've teamed up with, literally teamed up with, the Arizona Cardinals, and have the logo on the milk beverage, or I should say the milk product. Really gets consumers geared up for sports. Again, a very seasonal, limited edition, only when the team is, or when the sports are in season. Now, this product is actually probably, I think it was out about 4 years ago, but I love to show it when I'm talking about opportunities in fluid milk, because they really did a fabulous job. So Shadow Milk, when they were celebrating their 10-year anniversary, they're based out of Kansas City, they rolled out these limited edition, and when I say limited edition, I believe that, it was like 2,000 bottles were made, and that was it. And they would announce in the area, local grocery stores, the day the product was going to debut on the shelf, and consumers would literally line up outside to try to buy one, because it was a collector's item. They wanted to get all of the varieties that were going to come out. So to give you an example, the flavors mimic the names to a certain degree. Like Smooch came out for Valentine's Day with the red cap, and it was chocolate cherry flavored. Lucky came out for St. Patrick's Day and was a chocolate mint flavor. Again, created an urgency to buy milk that is unheard of, and it's a beautiful thing. Such opportunities. Here, Shadow still does a great job with putting different words that are very inspirational on their varied milk products, and really standing out in the case. I mean, this is not your grandpa's milk product. This is a modern, current, progressive milk beverage that really makes you want to drink milk again. Back to Mueller in Germany. Look at what they do for Halloween. How fun is that? These are not different flavors. These are just different sleeves for the bottles that they're putting on there. But a whole line of flavored milks with little scary symbolism. Beautiful thing to bring to a classroom party for kids. This is one of my favorites from Mueller. So they came out with, this is probably a year and a half ago that they did this. It was a very, like a 2 month, I don't even know if it was a 2 month period, where they came out with 4 flavored milks. The mask is to show you that it's a secret. They did not put the flavor on the milk bottle. You were supposed to buy it, try it, go online, and pick what you thought the flavor was going to be, and then it became a contest. This was an amazing driver to get consumers to try all 4 products. They were curious. They wanted to know. Okay, trend number 4, convenient nutrition. Better for you, less is more, beneficial extras. What does that mean? Well, it means something that Fairlife started, longer than it's been quite a while actually, where they're using ultra-filter technology to concentrate the proteins and remove the sugars from fluid milk. There have been others that have followed since. The Complete Dairy is another example of a product from Australia. Adding extra protein to milk to make it a enhanced milk beverage. Everyone's getting involved in it. I mean, you have, Nestle, Nesquik, which has traditionally just been a kind of a higher sugar chocolate milk on the go product, and Horizon Organic, Lala. I like the Nesquik product in the label around the opening. It says for adults young at heart. Here we see some cultured products that are emphasizing the functional ingredients that are being added. Lifeway just rolled out this organic kefir at Expo West this past March. And it's ceremonial matcha. Matcha green tea is known for its high antioxidant concentration and its health benefits. This chassis line actually isn't even in the marketplace yet. It too made its debut at Expo West, ready for delivery this summer. And it's combining yogurt with actually coconut milk of all things to emphasize a little bit the benefits and the hydration properties of coconut. And then the focus here is on the flavorful ingredients. It's Indian style spiced yogurt drink. We have flavors like cashew spiced chai and banana turmeric, and I don't think I need to tell you that turmeric is a hot spice right now, a hot flavor in a lot of foods, and it's not something you traditionally see in a dairy product, but here you see it now in a dairy beverage, a yogurt drink, and again, differentiating in what is actually becoming a very crowded space in the drinkable yogurt category. Then we have the extra nutrition or appealing to consumers' needs. This Pro Nourish product from Nestle is all about for a dairy beverage. It's a shelf-stable product for folks who have digestive sensitivities. It's gluten-free and suitable for lactose intolerance. It has fiber. And it's packed with nutrition that you might not be able to obtain if you have to limit your intake of certain products because of your digestive sensitivities. Now, Fairlife, this is the second of 3 mentionings that I'm going to have in this presentation. And hang on, because if you're wanting to sign off, just hold on tight, because the last product I show you is something that is just making its entry into the marketplace. But this too is fairly new for Fairlife. It's Super Kids, and it's that same ultra-filtered concentrated milk, higher protein, no lactose, more calcium, and now it's fortified with omega-3s for brain health and cognitive function. And of course, we think dairy and we just think, fluid milk or creamy looking products, but that doesn't need to be the case. Whey proteins can dissolve invisibly in beverages, in water-type products, in fruit juices. And so here we see BiPro and we see Clean Whey Protein Drink, which is actually from PowerBar. Very interesting. PowerBar getting into the whey protein platform. Both of these are shelf-stable products, and look at that BiPro, 16.9 ounce bottle, and it has 20 grams of protein. Okay, last trend of the day, snack time, number 5. Grazing has become the new normal, and it's all about mindful snacking. It's not, the Cheetos and the Doritos of yesteryear. It's a nutritious products that people are looking for. So let's delve a little bit into this category. So snackification of mealtime is widespread among millennials. There's no doubt about it. And for many, it's simply a necessity. There's an opportunity to make milk and dairy-based beverages a snack for different day parts. If you look at this chart or this infographic from the Hartman Group, you can see that 90% of consumers snack multiple times throughout the day. Of that 90%, 7% of consumers forego meals altogether just in favor of snacking. But the key here is that they're not snacking on the same kind of snack foods at each of those periods over the course of the day. I mean, the breakfast snack is a little bit more breakfasty. The lunchtime snack is a little bit more lunchy. The dinner one is, well, you figured it out, a little more dinnery. How can we make milk and dairy-based beverages complement those different day parts? So some more trivia here. Most American millennial snackers eat a snack in place of a standard meal at least once a week, most being 92%. Half replace a meal with a snack at least 4 times a week, and more than a fourth do at least 7 times a week. This is what is really important though. Look at what millennials find function in snacking. And these are the motivators, the inspiration that can drive you to create milk and dairy-based beverages to be a snack food. Millennials say snacks are all about keeping them full between meals. This is more than 3/4 of millennials say this. They say it satisfies a craving, it gets them energy. It's healthier than eating 3 large meals a day. They're too busy for traditional meals. There's so many reasons why they snack, and that is what should be the inspiration behind your formulation. Factors that are influencing snack choice. I don't think it's a big secret that taste is always number one. Nutrition and health comes second, and convenience is third. And milk and dairy-based beverages can be all of these things. Now, from this study that Welch's Global Ingredients did in January of this year, so this is really new data, millennials say they are looking for whole food ingredients in their snacks. We're talking whole grains, real fruit, and nuts. Now, some of this can be maybe a little challenging for dairy, or I should say for milk or milk-based beverages, or maybe not. Let's move on a little more. But before we go into some examples, let's talk about this. So besides valuing real fruit, American millennials who snack also prefer to know the origin of the fruit in their snacks. And they want to also know where their ingredients in their snack came from. So it's really important on your product packaging and websites to talk about this. Talk about where those strawberries came from. Talk about, are those California almonds or are they from somewhere else? This is important information, and this drives, I guess you could say, interest in trying your food out as a new snack. So here are some products. And I have to tell you that there's not a lot going on in milk and dairy-based beverages for the snacking day part. A lot of dairy processors probably think their products fit into those day parts, and they do. But guess what? Today's consumer wants to be told this. So here, Carnation, that's a Nestle brand, has Breakfast Essentials, complete nutritional drink. They are shelf-stable dairy-based beverages loaded with proteins, vitamins, minerals, minimal calories, and fewer sugars. And then Sunshine Dairy, oh, I love these guys. They're out in Portland, Oregon. They have, look how many trends they have grouped into one product here. They're talking about the process, which is cold crafted milk. They're talking about the ingredient sourcing. We're talking protein here. And power, their unique combination of macronutrients and micronutrients is a powerful combination. It's an energizing milk beverage. Then Shamrock Farms has a whole series of their refuel milk beverages. Some of them have more protein than others, some of them fewer sugars. It's all about refueling with dairy and can complement those multiple day parts. This is the product we've all been waiting for. So Fairlife, the third mention of them, the third and final mention of them. I talked about millennials wanting whole grains. Well, look at this. This is a smart milkshake. In fact, the company calls the product, or describes the product as a smarter way to snack. This is ultra-filtered milk loaded with honey and oats. There's those whole grains. It's fortified with antioxidants. We got some extra protein. We even have prebiotic fiber added to this formulation. Comes in French vanilla, milk chocolate, and creamy strawberry varieties. This lactose-free beverage comes in 4-packs, so you can keep them at home. And again, I'm going to emphasize it. This is the smart way to snack. Such an opportunity to make milk and dairy-based beverages a snack food. Okay, so as we wrap things up here, let's talk about the fact that more than any other consumer group before them, millennials are influencing the perceptions, expectations, and purchasing behaviors of surrounding generations. Yes, those hippie siblings of mine definitely were disruptors, but they did a fabulous job of raising even a greater generation of disruptors. But hold on to your seats, everyone. So there's a new generation coming out. It's Generation Z. I shouldn't say that they're coming out. They're coming to age. Generation Z is just starting to turn 17. And I didn't talk about them at all today because we're just starting to see their habits form. But I'll tell you right now, this is one powerful foodie demographic, and it's not something you want to miss. Okay, so what are your key takeaways? Number 1, talk about the cows. Number 2, highlight the ingredients. Number 3, create an urgency to purchase. Number 4, provide more bang for the calorie, more nutrition for every calorie. And finally, number 5, it's time to snackify milk and dairy-based beverages. I thank you very much for joining me in this presentation. A big thank you to Klockner Penoplast for being the sponsor of this presentation. If you currently do not get the e-newsletter Daily Dose of Dairy, please visit my website at berryondairy.com. There is a subscribe button. Hit it, put in your information, and you are on your way to creating exciting new dairy beverages to keep consumers happy. Thank you, and best of luck on your innovation endeavors.